Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another daily devotion. Hope you had an amazing weekend. It'd be nice to have a day in between Saturday and Sunday, but no. Hello, Monday. Thankful for today. And today we're diving into a verse that challenges the very foundation of how we live our daily lives. It's Matthew 6:24, where Jesus tells us, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." Now, I want us to sit with that for a moment. Jesus is making this statement that forces us to examine our hearts. He's not just talking about money. He's talking about what has control over our lives. He's addressing what we prioritize. Who are we putting on a pedestal? What are we chasing after? And what truly governs our decisions? How many of us feel like we're being pulled in two different directions? We love God, but at the same time, we're caught up in the responsibilities, pressures, and expectation of this world. If you've ever felt that tension, today's message is for you. We're going to unpack what it means to serve God wholeheartedly and why choosing Him as your master is the best decision you'll ever make. Let's talk about the constant tug of war between faith and the world. We wake up each day with a long list of responsibility. You got to clean the house, you got to cook, you got to go grocery shopping, you got to go to work, got to pay endless bills, family needs, goals, and dreams. Society tells us to hustle, to grind, to push harder so we can achieve more. We're taught that success is measured by wealth, status, and comfort. And before we know it, we're working tirelessly, trying to balance it all: faith, finances, family, and success. But Jesus tells us something crucial. You cannot serve two masters. At some point, we will have to choose. When I was caught up in this tug of war, I wanted to follow God, but also had an intense drive to secure financial stability. Especially with having kids, and I'm a single mom, that's something you want to go after. I convinced myself that I was just being responsible, but the truth was I was putting more trust in money than in God. I worked harder and harder thinking if I can just make this much, then I'll have peace. But no matter how much I earned, it was never enough. I felt anxious, restless, and constantly worried about the future. And then God stripped me of everything. I'm talking about, job, house, car, and myself. Someone who I thought I was or needed to be. When I stopped chasing security through money and started trusting in His provision, everything changed. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. Jesus uses the word master because a master has authority over you. A master determines your priorities. A master directs your choices. A master controls your time, energy, and your focus. Now the question is, who or what is your master? If money, success, or material things become your master, they will control your thoughts and your action. You'll find yourself constantly striving, worrying, and trying to gain more and more. But when God is your master, everything shifts. Instead of striving, you learn to trust Him. Instead of worrying, you experience peace. Instead of running yourself into exhaustion, you rest in His provision. Jesus is not saying that money is bad. Money is a tool. It can be used for good. The problem isn't the money itself. It's when money controls you instead of you controlling it. Think about today's world. Everywhere we look, we're bombarded with messages that tells us to chase after success, wealth, material things. Social media plays a huge role in. We scroll through highlight reels of people's seemingly perfect lives, new cars, designer clothes, exotic vacation, and we start to feel like we're missing out, right? But none of these things can satisfy our souls. The enemy wants us to believe that if we just had more, we'd finally be happy. But the truth is there will always be something more to chase. That's why Jesus calls us to choose Him as our master, because when we do, we're no longer enslaved to the things of this world. We find contentment, peace, and purpose in something that will never fade. So how do we make sure that God, not money, not success, not the world, is our master? Here are 4 practical steps. 1, start your day with God. Before reaching for your phone, emails, or to-do list, spend time in God's presence. Begin your day with a scripture, a prayer to align your heart with Him. Pray Our Father in the morning. It takes like 2 minutes. Number 2, Practice gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you lack, thank God for what you have. Gratitude shifts our perspective and reminds us that we are already blessed. After you pray the Our Father, say thank you for X, Y, and Z. Thank you for another day. Thank you for my home, my pillow, my blanket, anything. Number 3, trust God's provision. God promises to take care of his children. Trust him with your finances, your future, and your needs. When we stop worrying and start trusting, we experience his faithfulness. Number 4, simplify your life. Take inventory of what's pulling you away from God. Are there things, commitments, or habits that are keeping you enslaved to the world? Let go of what is unnecessary and make room for what truly matters. And if you don't know what they are, listen to your soul and your body. Is it bringing you peace? Again, let me ask you, who is your master? So take an honest look at where your time, energy, and focus are going. Are you fully surrendered to God or something else competing for that place in your heart? God is inviting you today to release your burdens and trust him fully. When you choose God as your master, you experience true freedom. No longer do you have to chase after things that don't satisfy. Instead, you live in the assurance that God will provide, guide, and sustain you. And I promise you, he does. The things of this world are temporary. And when we choose him, we choose a life of peace, joy, and true fulfillment. This message challenged you, share it with someone who might need this reminder. Let's commit this week to putting God first in everything we do. God bless you all and have a wonderful week. Love you.